Welcome back, everyone. I am super thrilled you're joining me today for this explainer. We're going to be tackling a topic that honestly sounds a little bit daunting at first, but is actually an absolute goldmine of information once you know exactly where to look. We are talking about navigating Comal County's property records. Whether you're in the market for a new home, analyzing a real estate investment, or just doing some local market research, we are going to unlock the databases that hold literally all the answers. Because uncovering property records for free in Comal County can open doors to smarter decisions and opportunities. Let us show you how simple it is. Seriously, there is absolutely no way you should be paying expensive third-party real estate data fees when the county provides all of this directly to you. You really just need to know how to find it.
Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap for today. First, we'll do a quick intro to Comal property records. Then, we're navigating the appraisal district, checking tax balances and financials, and exploring the clerk's records and data privacy. Finally, we'll cover some highly practical uses and wrap up with our conclusion. Starting with Section 1, an intro to Comal property records and the 3 vaults of data. You see, in Texas, county property records aren't just in one giant pile. They are actually decentralized across 3 distinct statutory bodies. Moving on to Section 2, navigating the appraisal district. This is where we get our crucial baseline data. The CAD, or Comal Appraisal District, is responsible for local property appraisals and managing exemptions for literally all taxing jurisdictions in the county.
So, what does this actually mean when you pull up a record? Well, you're usually going to see 2 distinct terms: market value and taxable value. Market value is essentially just what the property would theoretically sell for on January 1st of that specific tax year. But taxable value, that's your appraisal value minus any exemptions. To put that into perspective, standard residential homestead exemptions can reduce a property's taxable value by up to a whopping $140,000 for school district taxes. Plus, Comal County even offers a 20% local option exemption. Knowing the difference between these 2 numbers is absolutely vital for figuring out what your real tax liability is going to look like.
Okay, so let's walk through how this works in a real search. Step 1, you're going to visit esearch.com/allotted.org. Step 2, go ahead and select the By Address tab. Step 3, just type in the street number and the root street name. Now, here's a pro tip for you. Leave off suffixes like street, avenue, or drive. It just gives you way cleaner results. When those results pop up, you are looking for 2 absolutely critical pieces of information: the current owner's exact legal name, and the unique property ID number. Seriously, write that property ID down. It is basically your master key for unlocking the rest of the databases. Which brings us to Section 3, tax balances and financials. Armed with that property ID you just grabbed, it is time to check the tax assessor collector's office to uncover any hidden financial liabilities.
Accessing this is incredibly straightforward. First, just head over to the tax assessor collector's online portal. Second, take that property ID and plug it straight into the search bar. Third, you can now view the current payment status, look at the entire tax bill history, and, most importantly if you're buying, verify the delinquent tax rolls. You definitely want to make sure there are no past due amounts or nasty tax liens secretly attached to a property. Just to give you an idea of the sheer scale of what this office handles, check out this number. The Comal County Tax Assessor manages over 122,000 distinct tax accounts. Every year, based on the statements mailed out in October, they collect and disperse over $164 million in property taxes. It's a massive, massive financial engine for the county.
All right, Section 4, clerk records and data privacy. This is where we get to trace the legal chain of title. Because remember, while the appraisal district handles the value and the tax assessor handles the money, the county clerk, they handle the legal documents. Now, what's really fascinating here is how perfectly divided the labor is in Texas county government. You literally cannot go to the appraisal district to file a deed, and you definitely can't go to the county clerk to protest your property value. They stay in their lanes. The clerk's office strictly manages the legal recordings, and they run a fantastic online portal known as the Rome system. To search these legal records entirely for free, you'll go to comallandrecordsonline.com to access that Rome portal. Just create a free pay-as-you-go account. Once you're in, search using the property owner's name. But here's the catch. It has to be formatted as last name first, then first name. Getting that order right is super important. This system is honestly incredible. It lets you view watermarked previews of historical deeds, mortgages, and even lien releases, complete with digital indexes going all the way back to 1974. Now, if you ever find yourself needing to actually submit documents to the clerk, be warned. They do not mess around with formatting.
Take a look at this official subdivision plat application form C from the county engineer's office. Do you see how perfectly clean and specific the layout is? The county clerk has very rigid statutory requirements for how legal property forms absolutely must look before they'll even think about accepting them for recording.
In fact, here are the strict rules you have to follow to avoid getting hit with administrative penalties or having your filings flat out rejected. Your documents have to be on 8.5 by 11 or 8.5 by 14 white paper in a minimum 8-point black font. Also, for data privacy, Texas law mandates a 12-point bold confidentiality notice right at the top of page 1 if it transfers an interest to a person. It requires original signatures with names clearly typed underneath, and you absolutely must include the grantee's mailing address. And hey, while we're on the subject of privacy, it's really vital to practice ethical use when you're viewing these public records online. We need to respect the personal data that happens to live in the public domain.
Let's move into Section 5, Practical Uses and Troubleshooting. We know how to find the data, but how do we apply this master key in the real world, and what do we do when things get a little tricky?
Because, look, it happens to the best of us. So what exactly happens if your search comes up totally empty? Or what if you spot a weird discrepancy between the appraisal district and the county clerk's records? Usually it's pretty simple. Maybe a newly recorded deed just hasn't updated on the CAD website yet. Or you might have simply typed an address in a way the search system just didn't recognize. But let's talk about why you'd be digging into this in the first place. How does this data actually solve real-world problems? Well, for protesting tax valuations, you can use these sites to pull up comparable sold properties or gather proof of repair costs. If you're tackling inheritance research, you'll use the clerk's office to track down death certificates and make absolutely sure there aren't any surprise liens waiting for you. For checking property lines, you can hop onto the clerk's interactive plat viewer or the engineer's GIS portal to visualize boundaries. And for any business owners out there, this exact same data ensures you're filing your business personal property renditions perfectly by that strict April 15th deadline. Now, if you do hit a wall and you need official help, here is a vital troubleshooting tip. County clerk staff cannot perform broad searches for you. You can't just email them and say, hey, find any and all liens on my house. By policy, they just won't do it. If you need them to research something, you have to submit a general research request form, and it must contain very specific identifiers, like the document's volume and page number, or a specific document type and exact date. And that brings us to Section 6. Conclusion and legal disclaimer. It is time to wrap up our integrated property search tutorial. The biggest takeaway here is that by treating these three databases, the appraisal district, the tax assessor, and the county clerk ROM portal as one integrated toolkit, you are completely empowered. You can build a comprehensive, chronologically accurate property profile entirely for free. You get to completely bypass those expensive commercial real estate data websites. Now, as required by our source material, I do need to read this official disclaimer for you all. Information provided for research purposes only. Legal descriptions and acreage amounts should be verified prior to using for legal purpose and/or documents. Basically, it is highly recommended that you always verify all this information directly through official certified copies from the county, and definitely consult legal professionals for any real commercial or legal transactions. These online tools are an amazing starting point for sure, but they aren't a finalized legal survey. And that officially brings us to the end. So, with the master key to Comal County's data vaults finally in your hands, what smarter property decisions are you going to make today? I really hope you found this explainer incredibly valuable. If you want more practical, step-by-step guides just like this one, please make sure to hit that like button, share this with someone who needs it, and subscribe so you never miss an update. Keep learning, stay focused, and I'll see you next time.